Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This is my first ever Blender tutorial. We'll see how this goes. I just wanted to show you guys how I made this little lipstick animation. So I'm only gonna use this top part of the lipstick. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all the rest of it. And it's just a basic lipstick model, by the way. If you wanna learn how to make one, Derek Elliott made a really good video on how to model such lipstick, and it's very easy and beginner friendly. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this part and this part, selecting these parts using L and hovering over it, up, delete vertices. Now I'm left with only one of these, and we're gonna need to duplicate it in order to get this whole array effect. So first, what I'm gonna do is set the origin to the geometry, and then get an array modifier up and put a count up to about 10, should be enough, like this. By the way, to recenter things, I'm using a shortcut I put on my mouse, but if you want to do it, you can also go to view and frame selected, like this, and you can set a custom shortcut for it by right clicking on it and change shortcut. So now I'm gonna duplicate this array another time so that I can have a squared pattern, but this time I'm gonna duplicate it on the y-axis, just like this, and always gonna put one of difference. Maybe add a bit more depth, a bit more width, just in case, if your computer can handle it. And as I can see, they're all pretty much touching, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of extra separation because I don't want them to be touching. So yeah, I'm just gonna do 1.1, for example, in this, and same up here. I'm gonna now apply these arrays using Command A if you're on Mac. And now I'm gonna select it, tab, into edit mode, and then select them all using A, P, and separate them by loose parts. And now it might take a little bit to load, but you have all your lipsticks that are separated like this. So I'm gonna tab out of edit mode, and I'm gonna just press M and create a new collection and call it lipsticks, like that. It's just easier and less messy here to sort things out. And now, as I can see, I can just select them individually like this. I have already applied a texture on it. If you want to use the same texture, you can view it right here. It's just a Voronoi texture mapped. As you can see here, if I wait a little bit, there is this pattern that looks a bit bumpy, kind of like a lipstick texture, so looks pretty nice. And here already we're halfway done with the tutorial. It's a very easy and quick effect to do. So what you want to do next is, I can remove my lighting for now. I can just select all my objects, or you can also right click, select hierarchy, select objects like this. And what I want to do is right click and set the origin to geometry. And now, as you can see, they all have a origin point that is in here, which is what we need, otherwise it'll create a whole mess. And from there, you can start messing around with Blender, adding keyframes. Just always experiment throughout your projects. Don't forget to just keep an open mind and follow tutorials, but also at the same time, try to implement your own things that you might have seen from other tutorials, stuff like that. So yeah, I could animate it like that, or where's the center of rotation, median point, active individual origin, yeah, move them on like this, or move them all at once if you want to create just a rotating shot. You can do whatever you want with that. So, but what we want to do is press F3 and look for randomize transform. And what this is gonna do is allow you to, basically that's pretty self-explanatory. Just randomly modify your objects. So, for example, I can randomly modify the Y rotation, and that's gonna give us some result like this. You can also, what we want in our case is just to change the Z rotation. Like that, about. You can do it according to your preference, but I just want to do something pretty subtle, like 0.2 or maybe 0.15. This is really, so then I also want to impact the Z rotation. So they're gonna rotate on themselves using that. As you can see, if I put 60 up, they're all kind of like randomly rotated. So what I wanna do with that is insert a location and rotation keyframe at the beginning. And then I'm gonna go to my end keyframe, frame 60 for example. So go back to your F3 and randomize transform. And now you're gonna change these values just a little bit. So for example, I can decrease this up and have it a bit less rotated. And for this, I can put, for example, just 0.1 like this. And then apply another location and rotation keyframe. You should have a subtle movement like this going through. So now all you need to do is set up your lighting. So I already have mine created. It's just one big area light with another one hitting there. And yeah, that's it. And this is how it looks so far. And then I'm gonna get my camera and place it right over like this so that I can have a nice view on it. So what I can do is just go over it like this and then go to view, align view, align active camera to view, bam. And our view is almost pretty good. I have depth of field activated right now. That's why it looks a little blurry, very blurry in fact. So now I can just take my camera, press G and middle mouse button to move out a little bit. Something like that is pretty cool for me. I like it. So now it's all going to be just composition basically. So I'm gonna open a new window like this, deactivate all of that here. I think I want it a little bit more like this. Right about there looks good. I like it like that. So now what I'm gonna do is create a new empty plane axis like this, lower it a little bit, make it come up, and I'm gonna place it. You can just select one of them in the middle, Shift S, selection to active. And now what I want to do is just place it over like this, rename it with F2 focus like that. And we can also put it in the scene collection because it doesn't appear right now. I'm pretty sure it's with the lipsticks. So to my scene collection. And now we want to create some depth of field. So I'm gonna select my camera, go to object data properties on the camera, and depth of field activated. So right now we don't see anything, but if I take my focus and drag it right there, you can also select it from here. As you can see, I'm gonna have some nice depth of field. If it's too long on your laptop to preview the depth of field, you can also do it on the solid view right here. and you can just select depth of field right here, and now you're gonna see what's in focus and what's not, and from there you can just select the aperture slightly. I'm pressing down shift as I'm dragging to make it more precise. So I think I'm gonna want something like this. Yeah, you can experiment with yeah, I think that's pretty good. So this is how it's looking from here so far. Another thing I want to modify is, as you can see, these keyframes are all eased, and I would like to keep the same motion throughout the whole animation. So I'm just gonna go into lipsticks, select objects, and then here I'm gonna press A to select all while hovering this timeline, and then press T and get linear keyframes. And now, as we can see, I like it much better like that. It's more consistent, and I think in this case it just looks better. So now I'm just gonna do a test render. So render image to see how it looks. Yeah, so it's not rendered all the way through yet. It's still there's still some noise, as we can see, but it's looking pretty good so far. And this is what I got for the animated version of it, along with some other lipstick renders that I made. If you'd like a tutorial on these renders, please feel free to leave a comment and I will check it out and maybe do a tutorial on it. And that's all for me. I'll see you guys into the next tutorial. I'm posting tutorials every week, so feel free to subscribe and let me know what you thought about this first video. I will talk to you guys very soon. Have a nice day. That was Melivan. Bye.